my name's Aaliyah and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. So if you don't know, the mid-year book freakout tag is basically just a way to wrap up your reading for the first half of the year. So it's June, so we're halfway into 2021, so it's time to talk about all the things. So I have some questions here, so if you see me looking down, it's because I got my handy dandy notebook here. So, question number 1, what's the best book you've read so far in 2021? So, I don't know about the best book, but some of my favorites were The Lady Upstairs, Amari and the Night Brothers, The Only Black Girls in Town, and The House on Vesper Sands. I think the book that stuck with me the most is The Lady Upstairs, which is a noir thriller, and it's about this lady who works for a company who blackmails rich men for money. And there's a lot of murder and drinking and craziness, honestly. I don't know if it's really the best book, but it was the most entertaining book. So I would say that was probably my favorite book so far in 2021. And then the best sequel that I have read is The Creeping Shadow by Jonathan Stroud, which is book 4 in the Lockwood & Co. series. It had a lot of ghosts, and there is a little village that was haunted, and it was just a really fun time. I thought it was a really strong sequel. I gave that one 4 out of 5 stars, I think. And then question number 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to. Honestly, there's a lot of those. I think some of the new releases I really want to get to are Blackwater Sister and Blood Like Magic, which just came out like a couple of days ago, I think. Blackwater Sister is about a girl who goes to Malaysia and she's hearing a voice in her head that she thinks might be the voice of her dead grandma. And then Blood Like Magic is an urban fantasy about witches, which sounds really cool. So yeah, excited about those. And then question 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So I have a couple for this. So my most anticipated one is Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, which I just got an ARC for. So thank you very much to the publisher for sending me that ARC. It's very much appreciated. Velvet Was the Night is about this woman who's investigating the disappearance of her neighbor, and apparently some crazy things go on. There's Russian spies involved and government agencies and shenanigans. So that one sounds really cool. And then another one I'm excited for is Any Sign of Life by Ray Carson. And I think that one's about a girl surviving the apocalypse. And I'm not sure if that one's gonna talk about climate change or not. I'm kind of hoping it does, but I'm not really sure. I haven't really heard anybody talk about that one yet, because I think it's coming out in October. And Velvet Was the Night is coming out in August. And then, question 5, biggest disappointment. Oh man. So I have 2 for this. So Radiance by Grace Draven. I picked this up. I thought I was really gonna love it. I might talk about this one in another video also, but it's a romance book and it was really good at the beginning, and then there was some steamy scenes later on that just kind of made me uncomfortable. Like the male love interest just was like having rapey thoughts and it was just kind of gross. So I just stopped reading that one. It was just not good. Left a bad taste in my mouth. Wasn't a fan. And then another one that was really disappointing was Better Together by Christine Riccio. And I got an ARC of this one, and honestly, it was just terrible. Like, the writing was just really bad. The author tried to make up swear words instead of usually using, like, actual swear words. And instead of saying shit, they would say, like, excrement and stuff like that. And it was just ridiculous, and I was not a fan. So, yeah, very disappointing. And then the biggest surprise was probably The Only Black Girls in Town by Brandy Colbert. I really enjoyed this one. I just picked it up on a whim at my independent bookstore because this was like a copy that was a little bit damaged, and so it was really cheap. And I'd never heard anybody talk about it, but this is a middle grade book about these 2 girls who live in this beachside town, and they're pretty much the only black girls who live in their town, and they have to deal with microaggressions at school and things like that. But they become really good friends, and it's about them kind of coming together in their town and kind of finding their own little friend group and things like that. And they're surfing, and there's a little bit of a mystery element, and I really liked this. It was really fun, actually. I'm definitely gonna have to pick up some more books from Brandy Colbert because I really like her writing style. And I think this is the first middle grade book that she's written also. And question 7, favorite new author. So I don't know, I kind of struggled with this one a little bit. So I've been reading some of the novellas from P. Djeli Clark, and I really have been enjoying his work, but I'm not sure if he's a favorite yet because I haven't read his novel yet. So the novellas are pretty short, so I don't think that's quite enough material for me to say he's a favorite. But I have been reading The Unbroken by C.L. Clark, which is this author's debut novel, and I'm really enjoying this one. The writing is really good, and even though it's pretty chunky, it goes really fast. Like, I kind of just want to binge read the whole thing. So I would say C.L. Clark is a new favorite. Who else is a new favorite? Oh, hold on, I would say another new favorite author is Periac O'Donnell. I might be butchering that. This is an Irish author, so sorry for that terrible pronunciation. But I really loved this one, The House on Vesper Sands, and I know he has another novel, but it's an older one, and I haven't been able to find a copy from the library or anywhere. I've been looking, and I cannot find it. But I know that this is the first in a mystery thriller series, so I'm hoping that the second one comes out soon so I can read that one, because I think this author is going to be, he's not a favorite yet, but he's really getting there. I really, really loved this book. I really like his writing style. It's very pretty, but also like to the point at the same time. So it's like fluffy and direct at the same time, which I think is really cool. And I really like his characters also. They just feel really fleshed out to me. And the dialogue is really fun. He writes banter really well. So I would say those two are probably my new favorites. And then question 8 is newest fictional crush. And I don't have a new fictional crush. The only fictional crush I've ever had is on the character Han Alistair from The Demon King. Because he's really hot and cool in my head, so he's the only one. Everybody else is just kind of okay, honestly. And then question 9, newest favorite character. So I would say my new favorites are probably Gideon Bliss from The House on Vesper Sands. He's just such a cinnamon roll, and he's so sweet, and he's really smart, so he's good at figuring out clues during the mysteries. And then a book that made you cry. I don't know. I feel like there have been a few books this year that have made me cry, but a lot of them I don't remember for sure if I cried or not. But one I remember crying in is Legendborn, which is kind of a weird choice. But I don't know. There was a part with the main character Bree and her mom that just got me. So that one a little bit, even though it's not really a sad book. And then question 11, book that made you happy. I would say The Unbroken by C.L. Clark, which is, again, kind of an odd choice, but I just really like the political fantasy in this. And question 12, what's the most beautiful book you bought in 2021? So I think for that, I'm going to have to go with To the Lions by Holly Watt. I just like this cover a lot. It looks really mysterious, and this is London up here, and then on the back there's sand dunes because it also takes place in Libya, and I just like it. I think it's fun. Plus it was kind of a cover buy too, because I don't really know much about this book, so I'm gonna have to go with that one. And the last question, what books do you want to read before the end of the year? So honestly, tons. But I kind of have a little stack right here. Oh, they're falling. Here, these ones. So, We have When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain by Niveau, which is the sequel to Empress of Salt and Fortune, and this is just a little novella series, and I really like these. They're very fun, they're queer, they're about a cleric, and she kind of goes around and runs into people, and they share their stories with her, and she shares stories with them, and it's kind of just nice. And it's high fantasy. It takes place in a fictional world. It's very fun. And I guess this one is about tigers, so that's cool. And then the next one I want to read is A Master of Gin by P. Djeli Clark. So this is the novel by him that I haven't gotten to yet that I really want to read. And it's kind of a little bit chunky. It's set in a futuristic version of Egypt. And there's some steampunk elements you can kind of see on the cover. There's like wheels and things. There's magic, there's angels, there's gin. Yeah, there's just lots of fun magical creatures and things going on in here. The main character is this lady named Fatima, and she's queer and she's an investigator, so she investigates like magical things that are happening in society. Whenever there's a problem with magic users, they pretty much just call her and she solves it. So it's about her, and she was in one of the other novellas as well, and I liked her a lot, so I think this one's going to be pretty good. And then another one is The Windows of Malabar Hill, and I just picked this up. It's a mystery. I think it's a murder mystery set in India. So I think that's going to be really interesting. I think there's also a female detective in this one as well, which is pretty cool. And then the last one I really want to read is In the Garden of Spite, and this is a newer release. It came out in January. It's about a female serial killer, and it's actually based on a real serial killer called the Black Widow of La Porte. So, I don't know. I've never heard of that serial killer before, but apparently it was a woman who killed men who she thought were bad news. So, I'm down for that. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!